Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Barakathum. To you hopefully elect out there. Just back with another quick video. I was watching this video going into the fact that you got law enforcement officers basically quitting in mass numbers around the nation, around Babylon. You see, and you know, this is something that we've been talking about for a long time, dealing with how eventually, because this is going to set up the scenario for a purge-like setting out here, right? Because the fact that you got law enforcement officers leaving, quitting in mass numbers, but yet crime throughout all 50 states has been going up, all right, very rampantly. Okay, you know, like I said, it's gonna create a purge-like setting out here, you know. And on another note, with that being said, because this could set up, because again, another thing that we've been saying for a long time, starting with the apostles on down, going into how eventually you're going to have the foreign troops come over here to America, all right, to Babylon the Great. You see, which that's going to be a different, that's going to be a whole, because you see, when it comes to these other countries, they already hate Babylon as it is, all right, because you know, these are some proud people. These are some you know, Americans are proud, all right, and they look down on these other nations, right? And you see, like I said, a lot of these foreign countries, man, they already hate, despise America as it is. So like I said, it's going to be a different spirit, a different energy when the foreign troops come, all right? Because I'm going to get this real quick in the book of Jeremiah 51. Just bear with me. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse, matter of fact, the point is in verse, bear with me real quick. The point is in verse 30, but I will read verse, I will start at verse, because you see, again, when them foreign troops come over here to America, the scripture is going to how gold, north, silver is going to basically deter these foreign troops from basically wreaking havoc, all right? There's not going to be any amount of money. You're not going to be able to bargain with these people, because like I said, there's going to be a different spirit, a different energy when these foreign troops get over here, right? But I'm gonna read, I'm gonna start at Jeremiah 51 and verse 28. It says, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, all right, talking about them Russians, all right. And as we've been reporting on, a lot of these nations are pretty much linking up with Russia, China. You got the BRICS nations, all right, as well as other countries, because as the prophecy tells you in Ezekiel 38, how basically Russia's going to be a guard unto these other nations. So You see, Russia is pretty much forming its own. Yahweh Shema Shai is well, for one, because speaking of Ezekiel 38, you know, it goes on to tell you in that chapter about how the Lord is going to put hooks into their jaws. He's basically going to put that old Soviet-like USSR spirit back into those Russians. All right. You see, and more and more they're going to conquer. They're going to more and more basically branch out, and eventually, again, you know, they're going to make it is going to get to the point where it's going to make its way to America, because as they more and more spread out and you know, conquer more and more nations, so to say, these countries, like I said, eventually it's going to come over here to the West. All right, because believe it or not, America will get invaded. All right, there will be blue hats over here. All right, whether you want to believe it or not. All right. But again, it said, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. It says, and the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. Because again, ultimately, this is all the will of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, he's stirring up that spirit of war. All right, and ultimately, Yahweh Shema Shai is going to put the spirit on all these nations, all the leaders of these different countries, to press those nuke buttons, and ultimately, you know, America's going to be turned into one big desert, or a big lake of fire. All right. But it says, verse 30, it says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. And you see, because again, it said, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. And that's going, I mean, that's from, you know, the America's own military. All right. All the way down to what you see. Well, I'm going to play some of this video, right? But from the military, America's own military, right? Because you see, America's military, you see, when martial law is enacted, you know, and basically, man, a lot of the America's military is going to basically quit, because they're going to be given certain of these orders that's going to basically go against the morals of these American troops. All right, and they're not going to be with it. You see, they're not going to be with it. So America's own military is going to basically, you know, quit for the most part. All right, not entirely, because, you know, it is prophesied that, hey, you know, America's military is still going to go up and fight in this third world war. All right, but as far as on its own soil, you see, like I said, they're a lot of these American soldiers, man, they're not going to be up for the task or whatnot, because again, it's going to get to a point where, you know, they're you know, the order's going to go out to kill on spot, executions, things like that. And you see, America's military is weak. All right, America's military is a joke. Here it is, they're fighting for transformer rights and women's rights and things of that nature. All right, but when you look at these other countries and how they're preparing and how they're, you know, training and whatnot, and compared to America's military, again, America's military is a joke. You see, they're already weak, they're already docile. That's why it said they have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. So you see, America's military is already weak, but again, the point being is that the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. And again, from America's own military, down to this, what you see here with the local law enforcement, all right, the police task, all right, you know, cops quitting, all the way on down to the, you know, the so-called macho man that he, you know, so-called runs the block, you know, the so-called tough guy that claims he runs the block. All right, the Lord's going to turn these people out. All right, he's going to turn them out. These people, these people, man, they're going to become bitch made. You see, but I'm going to play some of this video because, like I said, you know, this is going on around the country. All right, you know, local law enforcement quitting because they can't deal with it anymore. And going back to what I was going to say earlier about how we've been saying a long time, eventually, hey, 911 is going to go out of service. 911 is going to go out of service. All right. So I'm going to play some of this video.
I was a New Yorker before this. I'm pretty sure Texans aren't going to listen to New Yorkers telling them how they should vote. That's just the idea I got there.
Joe, to this story, this separate story, nearly 1,100 NYPD cops quitting before they're getting their full pensions. Joe, that's like a 71% jump versus last year. The NYPD is still hemorrhaging cops. What is the deal for a cop to quit before they get their full pension?
Well, you know, Liz, we are seeing this crisis across the country because officers are just fed up. In New York, they're up 71%. In Austin, retirements and resignations are up 100% in 2021. In LA, they're down about 630 officers. In Portland, their lowest staffing levels in 30 years, all the while they have their highest recorded murder rate in history. Wonder if those things are related.
So like I said, local law enforcement officers around the country are quitting at a rapid rate in the masses, yet the crime is going up very dramatically. And again, man, a purge-like setting is being set up for America. And like I said, this is a crisis. This is something that's been going on over the past couple of months, you know, over the last year. All right, this is what's been going on. It got to a point where and hell, I remember last year, because, you know, I do security work, and basically, you know, we got the memo that, hey, unless it's like a dire emergency, a serious emergency, you know, life-threatening or whatever, to basically, you know, don't call the cops, you know, because it's been getting to a point where, you know, if it's not life-threatening, or anything like that, then, you know, cops won't even take certain calls. You know, cops wouldn't take certain calls because they won't respond to certain calls because the fact that they're so understaffed, and, you know, they have to pretty much, you know, spend their time, so to say, going after the you know, the real cases or whatnot, the real emergencies. So like little petty things, you know, a lot of places cops aren't even responding to. Well, like I said, eventually it's going to get to a point where 911, man, is going to completely go out of business.
But basically, do you really blame these cops for leaving? They're tired of being treated like crap, cursed at, spit on, you know, having their family members threatened. We're being shot at historic rates. We've had 210 police officers shot already this year. And these departments are working them to the bone. Recently in Boston, they had them working 24-hour shifts with no breaks because that's safe. But you know what? You know what really bothers police officers the most and why they leave? Because that at any moment, even if they follow policy, training, and the law, they will be absolutely crucified and buried in public, have their lives ruined, all because some spineless politician wants to make an example of them, and we're all sick of it.
You know, to your point too, we're looking at the quit rates too. Nearly 2,500 cops are filing to leave the NYPD this year. That's like 42% up too. I mean, the numbers are pretty staggering. But then you have this, you have the New York Times getting criticized. One of their writers suggested to readers that they should be optimistic about just a 4% drop in murders over the past year.
So yeah, that was pretty much the point. That was pretty much the point. And like I said, this is going to pave way for a purge-like setting, and it's going to pave way for them blue hats to come over here. Because again, if these people they're quitting, all right, nobody wants to get the job done. Well, someone has to get the job done. All right, someone has to be around to establish the order. All right, so this is going to pave way for them blue hats, them foreign troops. And like I said, man, once they get over here, man, and a lot of them are already over here, you know, they're just, again, waiting on that green light. And like I said, man, they already, a lot of these other countries, man, they already have this despise for you Americans, you proud Americans. So when they come over here, man, or they get activated, there's going to be a whole different spirit, which ultimately is going to be the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, his wrath, all right, displayed through these different martial law troops and Gurgle troops and blue hats. All right. I'm going to get two more scriptures. I'm going to first get this in Isaiah chapter 13. I'm going to read verse... I'll just read verse 16. Well, I'll read 16 and 17 because I did quote it, but I'll read verse 16. Isaiah 13 and 16 says, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Because, hey, again, them foreign troops, hey, they're going to be killing for sport, man. All right? They're going to be killing for sport. All right? It says, their houses shall be spoiled. So you see, kicking doors in. People are going to be getting dragged out of their homes, hauled off to these different you-know-what camps. All right, executions on spot. Like I said, man, these people are going to get the green light to perform these certain. It's going to be like some Order 66 type shit. If you know, if for my Star Wars fans, all right, and for the most part, hey, America's own, you know, task force is not going to be up to do it. Well, they're just going to get someone to do the job. All right. But it says their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. So women are going to be getting raped to death. All right. When you read in 2nd Ezra 16th chapter, man, hey, a lot of women are going to end up becoming without helpers. They're going to become widows. A lot of wives. Matter of fact, I'll get that, but I'm going to finish this out in verse 17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. Again, talking about them Russians. All right, because they're pretty much going to lead this charge. The Lord is going to use them to lead this charge. All right. It said, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So you see, the Russians and, you know, all these foreign troops, they're not going to give two shits about the you know, you're not going to be able to bribe them or you know, buy them out or anything like that. You see, and you know, hey, because I'll just put this out there, you know, by the time this does take place, the MOT might, you know, be already set in motion. So, you know, because the dollar's pretty much on its way out anyway. So, you know, the dollar's already pretty much worthless. So there's not going to be any amount of money or anything that you're going to be able to do to be able to bargain with these people. Because like I said, ultimately it's going to be the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai that's going to be on them. All right. You see, and that's why it tells you in 2nd Ezra, man, the 16th chapter, how the talks about that burning wrath of a great multitude. You see, but I'm gonna get this in 2nd Ezra 16 because, like I said, this is gonna set up more and more of these you know, law enforcement officers are gonna quit the task and leave. Right? They quit the task force. They're gonna leave the, you know. And more, this is going to pave way for the troops, the foreign troops. That's why I read Isaiah 13, right? But like I said, it's also going to pave way for a purge-like setting. All right, more and more crime. Again, 911 is going to go out of business. All right, So I'm going to get this in 2nd Esdras 16. 2nd Esdras chapter 16. I'll start at verse 31. It says, even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. So you see, all right, there's going to be some shit straight out of a dystopian movie, man. Right, where you have, because it's going to get so bad, you know, the economy is going to be completely done with, right? You see, you know, hyperinflation, right? There's not going to be any food, right? You know, it's just, you know, it's going to be a very dystopian setting in America very soon. So with that being said, hey, people, I always say, people are going to get what they want the ski mask way. They're just going to go out and get it themselves. By all means necessary. All right. There's going to be total anarchy, total chaos out here. All right. And you're going to have people traveling from place to place, looking for food, looking for resources. Right. It says, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. It says, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. So you see, like I said, a lot of you women are going to end up becoming widows and without helpers, without a protector. All right. You see, because, hey, you women, you claim you don't need a man. I can do bad all by myself. Well, like we've been saying, keep that same attitude, keep that same energy when it goes down out here. All right. Keep that same energy, keep that same attitude. Like I read in Isaiah 13, hey, man, you know, because it's not going to be just the foreign troops. You know, it's just going to be your regular, you know, Joe Buck out here just you know, just trying to get his rocks off. You see? Because, hey, you women, you're going to become a prey, man. You're going to become a booty. You're going to become a spoil. All right? You're going to be vulnerable. So this is why it will behoove you to you know, get yourself a man in the Lord while you can. All right? Because whether you want to hear this or not, man, he's going to be your hedge of protection. All right? He's going to be your ticket to salvation. All right? But a lot of you women are going to end up becoming, you know, be by yourselves, man. You see? Because it says, verse 34, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So you see, people are going to be dying of starvation. All right? Like I said, America's going to be a very dystopian. It's going to have a very dystopian type setting, you know? When you know, we saw all these clips of what's going on in Ukraine and all these other places that are war-torn. Right, bombs going off 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and you know, just constant, you know, back and forth. You know, like what we seen with the what's going on over there in the state of Israel and the Palestinians, and you know, rockets constantly being shot back and forth, and you know, tanks rolling up in the middle of the city, and you know, shooting off. That's coming to America. That's coming to America. But not even that. You're gonna have, again, because a lot of these law enforcement officers, hey, they're gonna link up. And you know, you're gonna have shootout with these foreign troops. All right, you're gonna have shootouts. All right, guerrilla warfare. It's just gonna be all type of shit. So, you know, you're gonna have a lot of these Pookies and Ray Rays, right? Hey, they're gonna be dying out here on the civil unrest. All right, a lot of these dudes, they're gonna be dying out here by the sword. All right, shot to death. All right. Like I said, dying of starvation, right? Because again, you know, it's just, you know, when the people get to a point where, hey, you know, like I said, it's just going to get to a point where people are just going to, you know, they're going to have to get it the ski mask way, man. You see, and there's going to be a lot more looting and, you know, just you know, people just going to get to a point where they just say that the hell with it, man, and they're just going to break into stores and get what they can, right? It's going to be, listen, it's going to be a lot, you know, it's going to be a lot of shit going on, you know, but nevertheless, this is what is, you know, hearing stuff like this is what it's paving the way for. It's paving the way for them UN troops, all right, and it's paving the way for a purge-like setting out here, man. Like the scripture said, man, the love of many shall wax cold. People are just going to say the hell with it. And it's just going to be total chaos and anarchy. you know. But hopefully this is edifying. All praises to Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashem El Shai Barack Thumb to you, hopefully elect. Lord's will, until next time, Shalom.